Hi there, my name is Mark from MacJax Gaming, and welcome to the first episode of South Coast Supremacy. And this is where we're going to get Portsmouth back to the top. Yes, welcome to the first episode of South Coast Supremacy. Well, let's have a look as to why I've chose to take Portsmouth back to the top. As you can see, looking at the South Coast football teams here of Plymouth, Bournemouth, Southampton, Portsmouth and Brighton, this is the reason why I've chose Portsmouth to get back to the top. Looking at the league table here, Portsmouth are down in 13th and not doing super well at this moment in time, whereas Plymouth are top of the league and absolutely smashing it. Other teams are in fact in the Premier League, and the aim of this series is hopefully, fingers crossed, by the end of it, Portsmouth will be above all those teams and back in the Premier League where they belong. Right, and now let's go and have a look at what we're working with and see what Portsmouth are starting off with in FM23. I have been appointed as the manager of Portsmouth, taking over from Danny Cowley on a 1-year deal. As I am recording this, Danny Cowley has already been sacked from his club in real life, so I guess I'm taking a vacant job. Right, so looking at this is what we've got to work with, and I'm guessing this is the facilities. Great training facility, which is good. Average youth and average youth recruitment. So I hope they ain't relying too much on youth recruitment at this moment in time, but we'll see what happens. We can also see that there is some capacity change at the stadium. I'm not too sure what that is. I'll try and find out to see. I assume it's an increase in capacity. Could very well be wrong. Right, so I'm going to be honest. To start off with, I don't know too much about this team. I do know, obviously, at the time of recording that Karoma was sent back, but who knows? He might work well for me, and also Griffiths. And then we'll have a look at these strikers, and we'll have a look at this team. There is a lot of players, a good few players on loan there. So let's have a look at what we've got to work with. This is what the board wants. We work within the wage budget, which is obviously standard. We're competitive in the Papa John's Trophy. I mean, we'll see. I'm not too sure how much I'll prioritise that. More trying to prioritise this. Reaching the Sky Bet League 1 playoffs. And be competitive in the Cups, which is, yeah, we'll see what happens. But I think this is about where Portsmouth were expecting to be in real life, wasn't it, back in the playoffs? I'm not really sure what's gone on this season. So we got a 1-year deal, hopefully. The contract lasts longer than that. And we can go on to win promotion to the Championship. I mean, who knows? We might do it this season, but this is giving me a couple of seasons to build a team to get promoted, and I want us to be self-sustainable. And the long-term plan is it's just basically get in the Championship, stay in the Championship, and be self-sustainable. Right. So now we have a look at the what the supporters expect of me. Is pretty much the same. Reach the Sky Bet League 1 playoffs. And as you can see, as I mentioned, obviously I know Plymouth aren't on this list, but as you can see, when I was talking about being the best team in the South Coast, I think this sort of sums up what I mean with playing the Southampton, Brighton and Bournemouth. Want us to be competitive, but they obviously, by the end of this, hopefully, we'll be not just competitive, we'll be beating them. So we're going to have a look at all this in a minute. Let's just confirm the accept current vision, because I think that's a pretty fair vision for this season. Right, so I think the first place to go and have a look is to have a look at the squad and see what we've got to work with, to see if we've got a young squad, an aging squad, and how much we are going to change. I mean, if you look at it from the opposite, I mean, there's a nice balance there, isn't there? There's not too many what I'd call old players in there in terms of ability. Right, so I think we've got a pretty solid team. As I said, have a look at this Josh Karoma, which is the one that has been sent back. I mean, I think for this level, he's pretty good. So maybe, I don't know, maybe I can get a tune out of him. As we're looking at Oindale, I mean, he's pretty good, isn't he? I mean, his strength is a little bit concerning, but relatively fast, good dribbling, good pace. I would like to a few things to be a bit better, like technique, but can't be greedy in League 1, I guess. So I will have a look around in this myself at one point and pick out some players that I think are pretty good. But I mean, there's a few good players out on the injury list at the moment, isn't there? So I suppose I can hope that they're going to be coming back. Well, I mean, a fractured lower leg, that's 5 to 6 months. So I can't really be expecting to be seeing him anytime soon. He's 8 weeks. That's not too bad. And 12 days to 3 weeks. So realistically, I've only got one of them down. Oh, there's some more down here. 4 to 7 weeks. Right, so realistically, there's one, maybe two of them, which I can't really be expecting to plan with. But, yeah. So let's look at our tactics. And I think, because I don't really want to be doing counter-attacks and sitting back and parking the bus. So I'm going to start off steady, and then we'll see what sort of team we end up with. So I'll be back in just a moment when I've got the team. I think I'm going to start out with. Right, so as you can see, just having a quick scan at the team and having just a quick play around. Obviously, things will change if I can do some transfers and stuff like that. But this is the team that I'm going to start with and see where we end up. I mean, there's not too many old ones in here. I know Morrison is getting up there in years, but if I can get one more season out of him, hopefully he can help us do well, and then we can move on, possibly moving on. But I mean, his heading's quite high, his strength's quite high, could be useful, especially for aerial threats. Right, let's have a look at the squad planner and see if there is any obvious weaknesses that I possibly may have to look at. I mean, the right back is a bit shy and a bit short of people, but then again, those two are not too bad. Is he positioned anywhere else? No. So there's nothing quite obviously stand out. I mean, I'm sure obviously people will disagree with me. As Portsmouth are not exactly having the best season, I'm sure I have opinions on where they need to improve, and I'm sure I will very soon when I start playing some games. I mean, looking at that, I mean, we're not too bad. Obviously, I'm not going to turn down some improvements and stuff, but I think there's one area which I possibly want to focus on, and that's probably an attacking midfielder. I'm sticking with this formation, get myself an attacking midfielder and to give all the support around the team, give them more chances to create. Now here comes the big question. Am I going to have any money or anything to work with, or am I going to have to maybe look to do some sales at players I don't want to, just to try and build the squad a bit better? Right, so it's loans. It's loans or a possible sale of a big player to try and get, because that is not a lot. But as for the wage budget, I don't think that's too bad for this league. I said I don't really know, but I ain't really got much of a choice. I can't exactly adjust it. So I think that'll be one of the plans between episodes, just to really have a look at this team, see if there's any transfers I can make. Right, so I know this is a relatively short episode today, but today's episode was just an intro into the series. The reason why I've chose Portsmouth, a quick look at the team and maybe some few areas we can look to bring us some transfers, even though the finances should maybe suggest otherwise. But what I'm going to do is between the episodes, I'm going to have a tweak around with the team, have a little bit more look into the team, and then maybe do some transfers and maybe come back just before the start of the season to see if I have done any transfers and see what the state of play is at that moment in time. Thank you very much for being patient with me today, and this is my first ever episode, and hopefully it didn't go too bad, and I'll see you in episode 2.